Michigan's Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer is urging lawmakers to find bipartisan solutions to the nation's top issues. She's criticizing President Trump's tariffs as a blunt tool, but says she has some common ground with the president when it comes to bringing back manufacturing.
You can't just pull out the tariff hammer to swing at every problem without a clear, defined end goal. I understand the motivation behind the tariffs. And I can tell you, here's where President Trump and I do agree. We do need to make more stuff in America. More cars and chips. More steel and ships. So here's my pitch. Let's keep going. Let's make more ships and planes and semiconductor chips in America. Let's cut red tape and unleash extraordinary potential of American industry. Let's give more hardworking people a fair shot at a decent life. And let's usher in, as President Trump says, a golden age of American manufacturing.
Whitmer's remarks come ahead of her scheduled meeting with President Trump today and amid speculation that she'll run for president in 2028. Let's bring in ABC News political director Averi Harper for more. Averi, polling shows voters, Democratic voters, want Democrats to do more to push back against the Trump administration. So what do you make of Whitmer's message here, that the way to do that is bipartisanship?
Right. I think it's really notable to hear from Gretchen Whitmer that she wants to find ways to work with President Trump, that there are areas in which they agree. Now, yes, Democratic voters more broadly, they have suggested through polling that they want lawmakers and Democratic lawmakers to find ways to push back against the Trump administration. But I think this might work for her in her state. I think it's an acknowledgement of where her state is. This is a place where Trump won narrowly, but he did win. Also, manufacturing is particularly important to her state, namely auto manufacturing. And so finding ways to boost manufacturing in her home state of Michigan and finding ways to work with President Trump may bode well for her at home.
Meanwhile, other prominent Democrats, Senator Cory Booker, Senator Bernie Sanders, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, the Congresswoman, they've been taking a more confrontational approach here. How is that going over? And what does this sort of bigger picture say about the state of the Democratic Party right now?
Right. I think that it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all strategy as we look ahead to midterms, particularly as we talk about the ways that Democrats are going to try and reclaim power in the House. In statewide races and races like the presidential, when we look to 2028, I think them being on one page is going to matter a lot more. But here in the House, and when we look at some of these House races that we're going to be tracking, Democrats are trying to reclaim power not only in places where there are vulnerable Republicans, but also in places where Republicans won by double digits. They're going to have to find, an individual strategy in each one of these districts in order to find a way to win.
A new Reuters and Ipsos poll shows 57% of respondents, including a quarter of Republicans, said that they oppose these tariffs. How big of a political gamble is this for the president? And what are you hearing from lawmakers about this who do have these future elections ahead of them?
Right. This is enormously politically risky for President Trump. I already spoke with and have heard in some of the previews of the ways that Democrats are going to be trying to run next year. They are utilizing the fact that tariffs are an unpopular policy to find ways to run in places where Republicans thought they were safe. And so this is going to be of concern for Republican lawmakers as they try to hold on and maintain their slim majorities, because, of course, Trump and the Republicans are utilizing, entirely reliant on these narrow majorities that they have in the House in order to push forward on the Trump agenda.
All right. ABC News political director Averi Harper. Averi, thank you.
Thank you.